The prologue of Shakespeare's Henry V apologizes to the audience at the beginning of the play for trying to bring forth so great an object as the Battle of Agincourt, in which Henry V from England comes and conquers France, and to do it with nothing but the wooden O of a stage and fake swords and a fake crown and no horses, with virtually nothing to bring forth that. And the prologue then asks the audience to bring their imaginations in to make things happen. For it is now your thoughts which must deck our kings, carrying them here and there, jumping over times, turning the accomplishment of many years into an hourglass. Now this Rosh Hashanah, we will miss the usual experiences of the holiday. There will be no hours spent in the synagogue. To hear the shofar, we have to either go to Payson Park or the courtyard of the building where we live, or if we have a shofar ourselves and the skill to blow it, then we'll do it in our own home. On the day when you crown the creator of the world as our king, the ceremony, the drama, the musical fanfare, the poetic storm that carry us as if we ourselves were the sound of the shofar, shooting and crying out with loud light before the great and holy King, are left for us to create in our own homes. A living room becomes a sanctuary. A coffee table sits where the Aron Kodesh should be. A Tanakh or Chumash sitting in our own shelf stands in for a Torah scroll. Makalot, Rivavot, Amcha Beit Yisrael, the congregations of the tens of thousands of your people Israel, end up being just us as individuals. And if we're fortunate not to live alone during this pandemic, it's the people living with us. Now, but is this day of spiritual, musical, and poetic drama diminished by the fact that we're celebrating it in our own homes? What is Rosh Hashanah without a hall full of people bowing down with us onto the floor as we say Aleinu? What is this day without the mournful high holiday Kaddish? B'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ringing around us and coming out of us before we go into our silent Amidah with a sense of Kedusha. We are not going to have that this year. But the answer to that question, whether it's diminished, will depend on what the day is for you when there is a synagogue to go to. Are you sitting with the boredom that comes from waiting for Hebrew-sounding mumbles and dead melodies to finally be over? Are you counting the pages ahead until we can finally get to Kiddush? Are you alienated from, or have you studied the Machzor and learned the meanings of the prayers in English when your Hebrew might not be sufficient for every single word? It's the high holiday Machzor. It's not easy Hebrew a lot of the time. Have you said maybe some key passages of the liturgy with full attention and contemplation, and allowed the meanings of the words to fill you, to take the shape of your thoughts, your experience, and your feelings, and what they give to those words, and release them into the ultimate to carry your meaning with them? So find some time before the holiday and give yourself a space where you'll be alone and undisturbed. Take some words of the Machzor. Take a single line or a single paragraph and become familiar with the Hebrew words and their meanings, either taken from the English translation on the other side of the page, or a Hebrew English dictionary, or whatever you need to do in order to get the meanings of those Hebrew words. Now, say them again and again to yourself, and let each word, as you say those words, fill you. Say each word, and let the word's meaning come out in the tone and volume of your voice. Let the meanings of that word come out in your emotional expression. Express that word with movement of your body as you say that word. Let the word fill you to the point that it moves you. Do this for about half an hour. This is an exercise. It's a meditation. Ingesting and expressing words. And say that piece of liturgy after you're done, without all that stuff. And notice the power that you and the words have invested in each other. Then you will be ready to use these words as prayer. They will be the same Hebrew words used by Jews across times, eras, and national borders, and they will express your own personal meaning. If you can do this, if you can ingest and express the words of the prayer book, then on Rosh Hashanah and on Yom Kippur, it won't matter if you're in a minyan with a whole Jewish community around you, or if you're in your own living room, or in the woods at the Four River Reserve. You will be standing before the essence of being itself, prostrated before HaMelech HaKadosh, the Holy King, and knowing what Holy King means to you, and finding yourself inscribed in the Book of Life. Shana Tova, B'tikatevu, Shana Tova, Umetuka. May you have a sweet new year and be inscribed in the Book of Life.